We've got brand new video of a shootout involving a D.C. police officer. Now, we shared this with you when it happened August 1st. Police were called to Benning Road and 17th Street in Northeast for reports of gunshots. But take a look what happened next.
Hey, let me see your hands. Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Shots fired, shots fired. We're gonna have a barricade.
We counted about 20 gunshots in that brief exchange. Amazingly, no one was hit. With all that gunfire, police did manage to arrest the suspect, 37-year-old Save Evans. The officer who shot at him was put on administrative leave.
Welcome to Paperwork TV. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please go and smash that like and subscribe button for me now. And without further ado, let's get to it. Today we will be discussing an incident that unfolded in the early morning of August 1st, 2023, on the 1700 block of Benning Road Northeast. Save Edward Evans, also known as Big Cy, the older brother of none other than Uncle Buckets himself, Aunt Glizzy, a 37-year-old man from Washington, D.C., discharged 14 rounds at a Metropolitan Police Department officer. Shockingly, the officer escaped untouched. January 29th, Evans pleaded guilty to his actions in the U.S. District Court. The charges include assault on a police officer while armed, and unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition by a person previously convicted of a crime, punishable by imprisonment for a term exceeding 1 year. On that morning at about 5:25 a.m., Evans was walking his dog. Without any apparent reason at all, he brandished a firearm, pointed it skywards, and fired 3 times, causing an unknown individual to flee the scene. 3 minutes later, an MPD officer was dispatched to investigate the blat sounds. In full uniform and driving a marked MPD car, the officer spotted Evans on the sidewalk. Unfazed, Evans targeted the officer, fired at him 3 times, and moved towards the entrance of a nearby apartment building. As he ascended a ramp, he once again aimed at the officer and discharged 9 additional live rounds. The officer managed to return fire and took cover behind his vehicle. Inside the building, Evans climbed to the 3rd-floor landing and fired 2 more shots at the officer through large windows. In total, Evans fired 14 rounds at the officer. Additional MPD officers from the 5th District arrived to assist and entered the building. They found Evans on the 3rd-floor landing. Before being put in them cuffs, Evans claimed he was unarmed, saying, "Ain't no gun, I took it off me." However, officers recovered the firearm on the 3rd-floor landing. DNA evidence further implicated Evans, linking him to the firearm, a black Springfield XD 9x19 pistol with an empty 16-round magazine. It was discovered that the gun had been stolen on March 9th, 2023, from the state of Texas. U.S. District Judge Reggie B. Walton has set the sentencing date for May 22, 2024. Evans now faces a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison for the charge of assault on a police officer while armed. A federal district court judge will determine any additional sentence after considering the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. In a statement, Chief Pamela Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department said, "Every day, our officers risk their own well-being to fight crime in our city. In firing those 14 rounds, Mr. Evans displayed a reprehensible disregard for the safety of both our officer and our community. I'm relieved that no one was hurt, and I'm pleased that Mr. Evans has taken some accountability for his actions by pleading guilty."
Only on Fox 5, the family of a young D.C. rapper killed in Southeast D.C. last week opens up about his battle trying to keep his teenage son away from D.C. streets. 16-year-old Justin Johnson was shot and killed in Southeast D.C. last Thursday morning. Stephanie Ramirez is live outside of D.C. Police headquarters with that interview. Steph?
Sharon, and the number one message this family has for the community is that 16-year-old Justin Johnson had a family and he was loved. I spoke with his father today. He tells me he is still in shock and that a number of people were trying to help get his son off D.C. city streets.
I heard a rap, one of his raps for the first time the other day. Didn't even want to listen to it because I wanted him to go to school. So he said, "I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out in one of those raps, and I don't know what to do." Because they were saying, "Justin, come with us." His managers and them, "Come with us. You got to put that behind you." But he said, no, I'm better off right here.
Michael Johnson is the father of 16-year-old Justin Johnson, a teen many knew in the neighborhood and on social media as an up-and-coming rapper named 23 Rackz. The teen's manager tells Fox 5 the young rapper signed with a label named MGE in 2020. Johnson's father tells Fox 5 he didn't know that much about his son's rap career. Michael Johnson says his son grew up differently and as a child was an A student at J.O. Wilson Elementary and Stewart in Northeast D.C. His father says the son even received tuition offers to attend private school. However, as the older Johnson says his son got a little older, he started acting out and running away to be with friends in Southeast. In the family's battle, Michael Johnson tells Fox 5 he even asked court officials to hold his son on a previous gun arrest, trying to get the 16-year-old's help, and sought counseling, but it took too long to get a diagnosis. These are the teen's sisters.
It's hard to see on social media that, you know, he's really gone. And I see a lot of comments on social media saying like, oh, well, he was in the streets, he's 16 and he didn't go to school and this, that. He was an honor roll student. They skipped him a grade. Like, he was street smart and book smart. Like, he was well before his time.
It takes everybody to help these kids.
Guys, even the teen's manager said he was working to get Johnson out of D.C. to work on his rap career in Georgia, but that was not possible because Johnson had an ankle bracelet on. Fox 5 reached out to D.C. Public Schools, Youth Services, and police. We are still waiting to hear back. We do not know the motive. According to the family, though, we are told that the 16-year-old had posted his whereabouts on Instagram last week and was shot and killed not long after. Back to you.
Next up, we have the story of GBG Lil Active, GBG Maxxo, and 23 Rackz. This question unfolds in the heart of Southeast DC, where the wheels of justice slowly turn to bring three youngins to account. In a recent story, Derrico Johnson, Ronald Henderson, and Davion Robinson, known residents of DC and Maryland, faced arraignment on multiple charges. These charges include first-degree murder, conspiracy, and other related offenses. The story begins on April 12, 2022. 32-year-old Clayton Marshall becomes an unlikely victim of a shooting at the Shipley Market in the 2200 block of Savannah Street, SE, right by 22nd. GBG Maxxo, picked up in a free car earlier, is identified as the shooter. Fast forward to May 26th of the same year. 16-year-old Justin Johnson, known as 23 Rackz, dropped his own low on Instagram. Seeing that 23 Rackz was out on the front line by himself lacking, GBG Maxxo and GBG Lil Active approach Savannah Terrace Circle looking to spin. From 200 feet away, they let those blats go, ending 23 Rackz's life while he stands just feet away from an infant child on a scooter. The mayhem does not end there. On January 2nd, 2023, Alabama convenience store becomes the next crime scene. GBG Lil Active and Davion Robinson were planning on their next rip to go and spin, while riding in the back seat of a free car, unleashed a whole rack of rifle and handgun rounds towards the store. Two innocent bystanders suffered injuries, but this time, armed SPO officers are in proximity. They witness the shooting and chase the two Get Back gang members through the Henson Ridge neighborhood. Their pursuit ends successfully, with Henderson and Robinson under arrest. The three accused, GBG Maxxo, GBG Lil Active, and Davion Robinson, are identified as members of a crew called Get Back Gang, or GBG. This crew is associated with the Henson Ridge neighborhood in 7D, and a larger group driving violence in DC known as Fox 5 Gang. Over the course of 2 years, they have allegedly participated in several homicides and non-fatal shootings. The indictment charges each defendant with conspiracy. GBG Maxxo faces 2 counts of first-degree murder while armed and 3 counts of assault with intent to kill. GBG Lil Active is charged with 1 count of first-degree murder while armed and 4 counts of assault with intent to kill. Davion Robinson faces 2 counts of assault with intent to kill. GBG Lil Active and GBG Maxxo face indictment for firearms-related offenses from March and April of 2023, respectively. The court orders all 3 defendants held without bond, with a trial date scheduled for August 18, 2025. That is all we have for y'all today. Please be sure to comment what you guys want us to cover next. Until next time, stay dangerous, Mo.